Hey, welcome back to Wednesdays with Wilson. I'm Coach Wilson, and here we are again by myself. We continue to do things a little differently here. So I'm excited to be in here, excited to talk about a few things. You know what? We should start. I got to do a better job of taking my picture for the old Instagram. So, sorry, that's the first thing we get to do. If Mr. Parsons is in here, I'd let him take it. Be nice. Or I could just live stream the whole thing. No, welcome back. We are rocking and rolling here. We are ready to go. It's the Final Four edition of Wednesdays with Wilson. Final Four, because the Final Four will be this weekend in Indianapolis. And Mac is very excited to talk about that. So is Riley. So am I. We got a lot going on around here at Fort Osage. So we're back. We're going to have a little Easter break this week on Friday and then next Monday. And then we'll get rocking and rolling. We got Fort Serves next week. Big thing that we do around here. We've done it for we've done it 8 years. We have not done it 8 years in a row because COVID and COVID plus one. We were not able to do it. But it was one of the coolest things that we do here at Fort Osage. Students are allowed to basically fill out forms and travel places around Independence, Kansas City, and the Fort Osage School District to serve, whether it be reading in elementary school classrooms, whether it be packing up some of the basics, whether it be cleaning up neighborhoods. Last year, for example, we were in Buckner. The group I was with, Buckner, we were in Buckner for their large Easter celebration. We were putting candy in the eggs, and so I had about 12 kids, and we sat there and did that for a few hours just to help people out. Miss Burnett, who's retiring at the end of this year, she has orchestrated this, and it is one of the absolute coolest things that we do. And you show students what it's like to serve, and I'm very excited for that. I was very curious what Mac was going to be doing. I guess we will find out next week, but it is coming. We had our first flag football game, inaugural one last Friday night, official one at Van Horn. The girls said they learned a lot. They didn't tell me anything other than that. So, and we're actually going to get some flag football games here, which we didn't think was going to happen. It's going to be JV, I believe, at some point in the next couple of weeks. So, baseball's in full swing, soccer's in full swing, tennis is in full swing, boys golf is in full swing. We have all these different things going on right now. So, we're very, very busy around Fort Osage, and it's actually been good weather for the spring sports the last couple of days. So, very excited about that now. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to get in those kind of things. But we'll find out how they are doing as they start progressing. I say this all the time, when you go from a sport that is 180 days, like basketball, to these spring sports that literally I feel like they only play for a month. And here we are in the last day of March anyway, that they're almost at their last day. The seniors had one of their last meetings yesterday. They are moving to that direction. Mac and Riley would both tell you that senioritis is in full swing, as all my seniors in class will tell you. They are in it. They are fully in it. So much going around. But, Mr. Parsons, I was going to talk to him about this, but I forgot to hook my Bluetooth. We can make a phone call of what it's like to connect with your heroes. Mr. Parsons got to meet two of his favorite people in film history, cinematic history, film history. Mr. Parsons, you want to talk about meeting your heroes? Okay, never mind. He doesn't. Right here would be a great time to show that picture of him meeting Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee this weekend at Comic-Con, KC Comic-Con. So I'd heard about it last week, and we talked about it, and he actually got to go and actually got to get a picture with them and meet them. So Mr. Parsons is a massive Lord of the Rings Hobbit fan, so that's very exciting for him. I can't believe he doesn't want to come talk about it. Man, that's sad. I did not get to meet my cinematic history or heroes, so that sucks. I don't think I ever will. Maybe, unless the Golden Globes thing we're still looking for. Maybe give us a chance. Maybe if I was doing call-ins, and it would be better, we could get some people we know, and then throw it out to Clooney, Damon, and Pitt, and just say, hey, we want to sit around and talk, have a conversation, have a meal. We can all dream, can't we? But let's, as we start talking about here, getting into April, what it looks like, it happens to be like within 2 weeks, two of the greatest, in my opinion, sporting events we do. We have the Final Four, which will be on Saturday, which should be really exciting 4 very competitive games. And then you get into the Masters, which I still think is the greatest sporting event ever. Very biased with that because of just my family's always been a golfing family, and we've always thought the Masters is the greatest thing ever. It's kind of here's spring, here's summer, this is the beginning of everything. So a lot of people I know find golf boring and things like that. That's understandable, but it is a spectacle to go there. So it's very exciting for the next couple of weeks of having fun. And like I said, we get 4 days off, which is nice. The Wilson family right now is on spring break, so that's a kind of different dynamic when I'm not on spring break and they are, and vice versa. So here's the big thing. I like try to be tiptoe and try to be really quiet so they can all sleep in. They don't do that at all. They don't do that at night when I'm trying to go to bed. They don't do that. Yes, I'm looking right at you, Meyer Wilson. They don't try to stay quiet. They want to come in and ask me questions, and I'm like, I got to get up in a few hours. They're staying up late, watching TV, whatever gaming thing they have going on right now, or talking to their friends. It's quite funny, but they'll come barging into my room, and my wife will be watching some sort of random reality TV show. So we go through that kind of thing right now. It's always a weird kind of dynamic when one group's on spring break and I'm not. So I'll at least get an extra day with them. I'm trying to think what else we've got going on here around Fort Osage, and I can't remember if One Acts are next week. That's where our student-directed plays. It sounds like it's going to be really exciting. We did have some big news out of our broadcasting department here. Last week they went to J-Day down in Columbia, and we had a few students. I believe Tegan Shockley was one of them. I believe Harper Allen was one of them that won some awards, all Missouri awards. I believe we had some other students, and again, this would be great. Show those pictures, whoever's editing this. That they do all sorts of different things. Wednesdays with Wilson, former award-winning show. I guess we have to say former now. We did not make it this year. There'd even be a zoom in for the old Debbie Downer SNL skit there. But then they do some things where they actually have like them reporting and doing reports down there J-Day. I'm sure Mr. Parsons puts pictures or videos of it right there. It's really, really cool how they do that. One of these days I'll get to go do that. But I talked to some of the kids that went. They enjoyed it. It's a lot, especially to be on a campus the size of Missouri, I think, and walk around and be amongst the kids and things like that. That's got to be very different for kids here. We are a large campus, but we're kind of a small school, if that makes any kind of sense. So when you experience those kind of things, it's different, and I'm glad the kids get to do that because we had a kids, Jazzy, our former student producer, she goes down there. I was curious if they ran into her and talked to her and see how she's doing. And, that was one of the big things. If you go back to our old shows, that she was nervous about is the size of the campus and what that exactly looked like. So we've got a lot of seniors as they start doing that. I know if some of my former students and former girls golfers, we've got one that's waiting for some exciting news from K-State today. We're crossing our fingers for her. We had our big signing ceremony last Friday. So we had 19 athletes sign in the gym. Another good picture, Mr. Parsons, right there. This is great how we've kind of changed this up and do this. So Mr. Dudley, our awesome athletic director, he puts all of them in the field house. They each get their own table, kind of goes around in a horseshoe, and they have it decorated with the school they're going to. And we'd pack the field house. Kids came in and got tickets, and the entire half of the gym was packed with family, friends, students. And then each kid would say something. And they would have to say something, pass around the mic the whole way and talk about who they're thankful for, who had helped them along the way, and advice to pass on to the other kids. And it was great. So as you go all the way through there and look at some of these kids that, and again, a person that's been here a long time, you've seen them grow from a freshman to who they are now as a senior, and watching them signing their letter of intent is one of the coolest things to do. And they did well. They spoke well. They got a bunch of pictures. It's an exciting thing to see, but it's, again, one of the great things that we've kind of changed and done here in the last couple of years. We had multiple athletes signing to go all over the place, to play soccer, to play baseball, to play basketball, girls and boys, to play football, to wrestle, to run track, play soccer, both men and women. Also, so again, one of those cool things when you're getting to the end of the year and you see these seniors that you've known for a long time, and you see them start to progress and where they're going to go, and you talk to some of their college coaches that come and watch them sign, which that's a great thing that they have college coaches that'll come in and watch them sign. That's a really cool thing to sit and watch, and then you look and you hope that some of the younger kids that are there that they know and they've talked with that follow in their footsteps and decide that, man, this is a pretty cool thing. You hope that works. And that's what I think Mr. Dudley has really tried to instill, that continues to build those younger kids and let them see, man, this is pretty cool. I want to be able to do that when I'm a senior. So that was a very exciting thing on Friday. Other than that, I should have hooked my Bluetooth up and we could call some people and talk to them, but I did not. So, and hopefully Mac and Riley will be back next week as we get into April and get into that final little push here. And then our new student producers will be joining us probably with the next couple of weeks after that. And from what I understand, they're very excited about doing this and being a part of this. So I'm excited to have some new students. And again, the Mount Rushmore of student producers, I guess at some point we're going to have to do that. I'm going to find some really, really embarrassing pictures of all of our former people, put them up there. Some people are a lot easier to find embarrassing pictures, Jackson, than others. And we'll go on from there. So if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or watching us on YouTube, I appreciate you coming in. Like I said, sorry it's just me again. And I hope that next week we got a lot more to talk about, a lot more things to do, or I'll just hook up my Bluetooth and we'll call people and see if they've got any questions. Maybe that's what I should open it up. If you got anything you'd like to talk about, message me on Instagram. Questions I can ask, answer. Anything you want to know about Fort Osage, about Wednesdays with Wilson, anything like that, we'll gladly open the mailbag and answer. So with that, I'll see you next week.